Doing? Post-game interview. How you doing, Crippy? What's up, dude? Does that match everything you expected it to be? I never was able to get creep going. I never got creep going. Yeah. It's because, well, the reason why is because you went for aggression early, so it delays your creep spread. You went for an early Roach Warren, right? And then I went really aggressive as a. I counterattacked you pretty early after that with my first few Hellions and Cyclones and tank. The Lambo 5 Roach pressure? Yeah. I had a feeling you were going to go for Roaches because you made Lings early and then you were mining gas. And I was like, I know what this guy's up to. I know what he's doing. Nice. You almost broke my bunker. If you broke my bunker, that would have been a problem for me. Those Marines cleaned up because the bunker stayed alive. But this game could have been a little different if that bunker broke, to be fair. You probably would have... I'm not going to say automatically I would have lost the game there, but definitely would have had a lot more of a momentum in the game for you, for sure, if that bunker died. Because that bunker got really low. Let's see how low it got exactly. It was really low. I should have pulled SCVs faster, to be fair. I can't believe my Reaper died as well. That was so stupid. Like, look at this. My bunker almost dies. Right here. Okay, you stopped attacking it right there. You went over the SCVs instead. How low did it get right before that? 159, 140, 95, 80, 70, 30. It got down to like 30 HP. 36. Ish. HP. Which is like a little bit more than 2 Roach auto attacks. Because 2 Roach auto attacks hit a bunker for 30. Because it does 15 damage per Roach on a bunker. Because our bunker has 1 armor. And a Roach does 16. So that was scary. If this first SCV saved me from dying. That first SCV bought enough time for the rest of the SCVs to arrive. I should have pulled, like, this is an over pull, by the way. This is an overreaction. I should have pulled about this many from the main base as soon as my natural was done. Right before your Roaches would have come here. Because I knew you were going to go Roaches. That was my fault to not do that. But if that bunker died, all your Roaches are still like full health. I would have had to have lifted off my natural, waited for a tank to then retake my natural, and you would have got so much fucking macro time over me. For like, I would have basically been delayed on my natural. You also would have killed all my mules, which is 3 fucking mules here that are like, one's like half, and the other 2 are pretty fresh. That would have sucked ass. I would have definitely been in a harder spot for sure. That was my first game ever playing under pressure. That felt awful. It felt like my brain didn't work and I misclicked hard. Yeah. Let's, yo, 311, I have an offer for you. If you're listening. Excuse me. Excuse. 311, are you listening, my friend? I have an offer for you. Offer is on the table. Yes. Okay, here's the offer I will give you. If you would like, we could play another 1v1.
Daniel?
And this time you open up 1 gate expand and I will open up double gateway. Because I will say, honestly, in my opinion, you were screwed right off the start of the game. Because of the openers. In this game in particular. And I didn't want to go 2 gate opener against you the first time because I thought it was going to be a little bit much. I was like, I probably shouldn't do this. But if you're gonna go 2-gate opener, you have to do pressure. You have to. If you don't, and your opponent 1-gate expands, you always will die. Let's check this out. Watch this. You're gonna be so far behind at like minute 4. Watch this. Check this out. This is just passively because of the build order. Because you just didn't do enough damage. So check this out. Look at this structure right here. Pause it. Your natural has 8 probes on it, right? They pretty much just started mining. Like, these patches have not even really been touched. That patch has lost 10 minerals. 0, 0, 50, 25, 50, 15, 0. Not your natural hasn't really been touched that much yet. This natural, on the other hand, has mined 140, 80, 120, 50, 50, 180. Or no, sorry, that's only 80. It's only 80, 30, and 35. Like, overall, our natural has just mined more. And we also have more. Like, right now, in terms of, like, just upkeep of base and, like, things going on. And we also have a third. We have more probes, and we have more overall supply. Army supply is up by 3 for us. So, this is just because of the opener. It's nothing to do with anything else other than the fact that a 2-gate opener, if played passively, is always going to be behind a 1-gate expand. Like, for instance, here's a good example. Your robo is just now finishing right now, which means it just finished. My robo's been done long enough to make an observer 6 seconds in, and an immortal is already out. Like, this shit will fuck you if you don't take advantage. You have to be aggressive with this kind of an opener. Otherwise, it's not worth doing. Like, we're talking, like, as you grow as a player. Defensively going 2-gate expands, if everybody goes 2-gate, then that's okay. It's only when it's a 2-gate versus 1-gate is this makes sense, okay? You can be defensive 2-gate versus 2-gate opener. That's okay. But if you are a 2-gate opener and you're against a 1-gate expand, you have to be aggressive. I hope that makes sense. It's this flow chart right here. There's a flow chart right here. This is what it is right here. That's the flowchart right there. Aggressive builds beat greedy builds. Greedy builds beat safe builds. And safe builds beat aggressive builds. And if you break that rule and you reverse this, you get fucked. So greedy is another word for 1-gate expand. And 2-gate opener is another word for aggressive. So what you did was you played an aggressive build in a safe way. So if your build falls back into the category of this right here, you now get countered. You counter yourself essentially. Okay. Make one more game, and we'll do it. We'll do one more. You go 1-gate expand and do whatever the fuck you want after that, and I will do what I think you should do when your opponents go for 1-gate expands. And it's not going to be it's not going to be super technical. It's going to be relatively easy to do. It's just micro intensive, I guess. Like, you need to control your units more. Whenever you're ready, I'm ready as well. Whenever you are ready, my friend. It's so helpful and exciting. Hell yeah. I need it. I need my flowchart. But anyways, you get the point. Aggressive beats greedy. Greedy beats safe. And safe beats aggressive. And it goes round and round and round and round. Those are the 3 archetypes of builds in StarCraft 2, generally speaking.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes you can have someone out micro it to where...
Nice. I like seeing Protoss lose.
Yo, means horns. Thank you very much for the 3-month resub, dude. Appreciate you. But this game of Protoss won as well. Protoss win and lose. Protoss and Protoss violence. Any good unit is a dead unit for Protoss. Yeah. That's unfortunate that they're winning. Thanks for the 3-man. Okay. So that flowchart that describes archetypes of builds in StarCraft 2, that only matters about your opener, by the way. It doesn't matter about all game. You're never gonna be like, well, he's playing greedy at 17 minutes in this game, and I'm playing safe, so I should attack now. Or I should be okay now. I should be winning. Or whatever. It doesn't... None of this shit matters later on at all. The game has a different kind of pacing later on based off the opener. It's literally always based off the opener because it changes every game. Because your opener sometimes does well and the opener sometimes does poorly. But openers of archetype build, like archetypes of builds, have a good chance of succeeding if you do the right thing at the right time. Like if you're an aggressive player versus a greedy player. Like if I go Nexus first and you go fucking proxy gateways, I'm probably going to take damage to that. You know what I mean? Like I'm probably not going to have a good time there. But if I go defensive gateway and you go proxy gateway, you're probably going to have a bad time being the proxy gateway guy. Okay. So check this out. Right? So, right before we... Or let's get right before our stalkers get there. So, the way aggressive builds usually work is aggressive builds should have more army advantage and they should have less economical advantage. Right? That's how that should go. So, in this game right now, I have 2 probes less than pink, than 311. So it's yeah, working as intended, right? This is exactly how it should look. I'm a little bit behind in economy. Also, this Nexus is done. And my Nexus just started. So you could argue that that's really bad for me. Because I am now making probes at half the pace of what he is for the next 61 seconds. Which is a lot of time. That's a full minute of him making probes, which is 5 probes worth of time, by the way. So like, if I didn't do any damage here, he could effectively be, instead of 2 probes ahead, he could be 7 probes ahead, which would suck for me. I'd be like, well, we're now really far behind. But again, our advantage comes from aggression versus a greedy player, a greedy build. So that's exactly what we do. We go aggressive and we attack. And we're taking advantage of a stalker that has no shield battery yet. The probes weren't there, so we double teamed the stalker. We weakened it, which was nice. Then you have probes pulled, another stalker sub, so we back up. But we pick our battles. This is where micro comes in a little bit, where you try to kill whatever you can and be as annoying as fucking possible by maximizing your attack as much as possible. And the way you maximize your attack as much as possible is literally understanding the concept of moving during a time attack cooldown. As long as you move for 1.34 seconds, you're doing great. You should never stand still, ever. Always move between attacks for 1.34 seconds. Because this is a stalker, and it has a 1.34 second attack speed. And it doesn't matter if the unit stands still or if it moves, it still has the attack cooldown at the same pace, whether or not the unit is moving or not. So if I maximize distance, backwards or forwards, I can avoid getting shot more, and I can maintain more health on my units. by maximizing movement through attack cooldown. And then every time I can do it, though, I do shoot. And then I see how I shot and moved again. And I'll do it again. And then 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 again. And again. I always maintain movement between attack cooldown. Because if you auto attack and stand there, your unit will literally just like stare at the unit and be like, like it'll just fucking dead eye that shit. Like it's a fucking yeah, not good. It's just it's pointless to do that, especially when your opponent, like if I would have fought 4 probes and 2 stalkers with just 2 stalkers, I would have lost that fight. But instead what happened was I killed a stalker and I also killed 3 probes already, and I haven't even lost shields yet on my stalkers because we maximized movement and we abused that to its fullest. And already now, just from this opener alone, okay, we were behind a second ago by 2 workers when my Nexus was just started at 10 seconds of production, which meant that there was going to be a not only 2 probe advantage, but there was going to be 5 more coming on top of that, right? Before my Nexus was done. We just talked about this. And now, after what just happened there, my Nexus is now 30 seconds into production here, and I am only 1 probe behind. So I've actually closed the gap a little bit, even though you're making probes faster than me, because of micro. Because this is aggressive. You have to micro if you're aggressive, and you have to understand how to do it, like, effectively. And then we kill another probe right here, and then we pull back. And now we've evened the fucking probe gap. And my Nexus is now 6 seconds even further. My Nexus is like legit halfway done. So now I'm only 3 probes behind. Even though we're tied on probes, I'm still effectively 3 probes behind, because you can make 3 probes out of your natural and your main, when I can only make it out of my main for the next 36 seconds, and a probe's build time is 12 seconds. So I am effectively 3 probes behind within the next 36 seconds. Would a battery further back be better? That doesn't matter. This battery location doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I mean, honestly, you probably should put it a little bit further back, but it doesn't really matter. The battery was actually kind of late, though. We'd have to go look at the build order exactly, but the battery did seem like it was later than it should have been. But either way, it's fine. But now, yeah, so this is when, yeah, you could say the battery being too far forward is going to be a problem. But at the same time, it's not, because if the 2 stalkers were in front of the battery, he could trade shield with battery and keep his stalkers totally fine, because the battery would just heal it up, and then he would do actual damage to my stalkers if I stayed too long. So I would have to back up too. And it gives time for the shields to regenerate on both of us, but it gives time for the shield battery energy as well. To be fair, though, me trading my shields for all of his energy on his shield battery is actually an advantage for me. Or me getting him to burn a battery overcharge is an advantage for me. Or killing the battery is an advantage for me. The whole point of what this is, though, is he needs to have mortals fucking really fast in front of his base. The immortals were really late this game, so it made it really hard for him to defend the follow-up attacks. So your immortal, your robo should be starting during the second unit in production of your gateway. Literally, unit number 2 in gateway should be paired with a robo.